How's it going? All right, so we're coming in now with the last two signs for July. So this is going to be for Taurus and Gemini, general readings, bones, and charms. So everybody is welcome, regardless of where you may have Taurus or Gemini in your individual birth chart. All right, so if your sun sign, Taurus, moon in Taurus, your rising or ascendant is in Taurus, your Venus is in Taurus, the house associated with Taurus, whatever it may be. All right, so everybody is welcome. So we're going to do a sound bell here and get into the reading in just a few moments. I just wanted to do a little incense for you guys, for me to clear the bones and charms, and just kind of the general environment so we can tune in and get these messages from spirit to you guys. All right. So before we get started too, I want to just make sure our sound is good and that we're going live. Okay, so sound is good. And then just want to make sure we're going live on Facebook as well. Okay. So I guess the new thing that Facebook is trying to do is either make your page basically professional or just for friends. So lately I haven't been able to go live publicly on Facebook, and I was trying to figure out why, and now I kind of understand. So anyway, side note, I may be changing that on my Facebook or something. But anyway, let's get to it. So yes, we're gonna do the sound bell. Like I said, we're already doing our incense, and so we're just gonna clear the energy and tap in and see what spirit messages we have for both Taurus and for Gemini. I will be providing timestamps after the live is done for some people who may just want one versus the other. Okay. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So if you are sensitive to sound or you're listening with headphones or something, you can feel free to turn it down a little bit, since sometimes the sound bell does get a little loud. All right. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what we have for Taurus. So this is going to be for Taurus for July 2025. Okay. And the other thing I wanted to mention that I think I didn't mention before is, as you come to this reading, it could be about you, it could be about someone else, multiple people that you're dealing with, or just your general environment situation. So always kind of keep that in the back of your mind. The other thing as well is if you want to like this video, share or subscribe, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or eventually TikTok. That does help me a lot, since I am doing these readings for free, and I don't know how much longer I can keep continuing to do them for free, just with work and my own personal life and everything. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna now do the shuffling of the bones and charms in this little bowl. So I have to shake it, and it's a little noisy as well, but again, it won't be throughout the whole video. It's just in the beginning before every reading that I do. All right, so just bear with me and thank you for your patience and understanding, everybody. All right, so spirits, please guide my hands. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Taurus for the highest vibrational good for July. Spirits, please guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull for their highest vibrational good. Messages for Taurus. Messages for Taurus for their highest good. Spirit, guide my hands, please. Spirit, guide my hands. Messages for Taurus. Spirit, please guide my hands, please. Spirit, please guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull for July 2025 for their highest good. Spirit, guide my hands, please. Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull for their highest vibration for July 2025 for their highest good. Spirit, guide my hands, please. For Earth sign Taurus, the bull for the highest vibration for July. Spirit, guide my hands, please. Messages for Taurus. Messages for Earth sign Taurus for their highest vibration. Spirit, guide my hands, please. Messages for Earth sign Taurus for the highest vibration, please. Spirit, please guide my hands. Messages for Taurus, the bull. What does Earth sign Taurus, the bull, need to see? All right. Let's put this over here. Okay, so as I pick up and move a couple of the bones and charms that have gone off of the white part of the mat, it doesn't change their meaning. It just makes it easier for us to see. And then as I go through and flip over the bones and charms, again, before I bring the camera down in a few moments so you can see everything up close in detail, you can see all the different sections, you can see all the bones and charms, I will be doing that in just a moment. So, yeah. And welcome to everybody. Whether you've been here before or it's your first time, welcome, welcome. Okay. It doesn't look like we have too many this time that need to be flipped over ahead of time. If there are a couple that are like right on top of each other, I'll usually wait till we get to that section of the reading. Like there's a couple in there that are right on top of each other. So I'll definitely wait for those. But looks like that's pretty good. All right, and I will be taking a picture at the end as well that I always upload on my Facebook. If people want to look at it more up close in detail and all that good stuff. But yeah, before I bring the camera down, while I have my hands free, let me just figure out where Spirit wants to start this reading because it's different for every reading. All right, so again, thank you for your patience and understanding. And there's another one. Okay. Spirits, please guide my hands. Where would you like to start this Taurus reading for July? Spirits, guide my hands. Where do you want to start this Taurus reading, please? Okay. So they actually want to start like right here. So I'm going to put my pen there to kind of remember. But real quickly to go over the sections. Well, let me bring the camera down first so you can see it anyway. But looks like they want to start in the spiritual unconscious, also known as intuition section. Okay. But yeah, let me just grab camera here as we get closer. All right. So, as you guys can kind of see here, we have quite a few charms that have gone off of the main black mat and on the white mat. So that just means it's still going to be in those sections. They're just past energy, okay, when that happens. But yeah, to go over the sections real quickly, right, we're going to start over here in the spiritual unconscious, also known as the intuition. And then we have body and mental health. We have relationships and love. And then we have work and money, okay? So if we look for just a moment here, Taurus, it looks like a lot of your bones and charms are kind of spread throughout in every section. So that's not necessarily a good or bad thing, right? And we can kind of just see that because sometimes there'll be like nothing in one section or all of them are in just two or one section, but they're pretty spread out here. And the other thing too is that whatever falls in this center circle where all the lines intersect, that's going to apply to all the sections kind of anyway. So there are a couple things there as well. But with that being said, let's go over to where they kind of want to start this reading, okay? So here, Taurus, the energy was really pulling me right here towards this first human tooth bone here that is then leading into the first raccoon penis bone, and then we have this leaf that's kind of on the side, okay? But again, that is where the energy was drawing me, so that's what I do. I follow what spirit tells me to do, okay? But yeah, if we're talking about what this section represents, right, we could say the spiritual unconscious, our intuition is what we feel, our gut reactions to things, how we feel at night when we're alone, when we're sleeping, just, you know, your intuition or someone else's or multiple people or the general environment situation. So again, take it how it may resonate for you. Always feel free to check out your other placements throughout your birth chart because depending on what's going on in your life, you may resonate more with your rising sign, with your moon sign, with your sun sign, with your Venus sign for matters of love and all that. So it just kind of depends. But anyway, what I'm seeing here, Taurus, so far is that some energy or some person or you yourself is chewing over and digesting a lot about the spiritual section in our life, like the unconscious or intuition. Someone's thinking a lot about that, and perhaps this even started in the past and is then still going on in the future, current, present energies, possibilities, okay? Because again, it does cross into the black mat, right? And everything on the white or further out is just past energy. So what we see is something about being proactive, assertive, aggressive, okay? When we talk about the raccoon penis bone as a stereotype, right? If we're talking about higher vibrational masculine energy, we could say that it is sometimes those things, right? So being proactive, assertive, aggressive with some type of clearing or cleansing, okay? So spiritual clearing or cleansings, you know, even cleansing within our intuition or something like this. So again, perhaps this started in the past and it's still going on. But when we see these human tooth bones, this is like chewing over and digesting this, okay? Now I want to go back further into the past because there's quite a few things here, and then go back and see what else is in the over here on the black part of the mat, right? But if you see those dotted lines there, it's kind of like right on that green lucky rabbit's foot roughly. So whatever is going to be on these dotted lines can apply to, you know, both of the sections, right? But all the way out here, and I think it hit my necklace or like my dress or whatever, as I was shuffling the bones and charms here at Taurus. But we have your Buckeye all the way out here, and then we have the no coin, okay? So this is really interesting because on one side you got like spiritual abundance, right? Intuitive abundance, unconscious abundance. And abundance isn't just money, right? It's whatever we want to manifest in our life. So it could be that in the past, while this was going on, or because there was some type of no that either you gave or you received in a spiritual way in the past, perhaps this then created more abundance, or because of it, or it could have been that the abundance came first and then there was a no. It's going to be different for everybody since it is a general reading. But I can see also going over this way, Taurus, that over time, here with the rope charm and now the raccoon claw and another human tooth bone, that someone was chewing over, digesting, or just the energy, if it wasn't a person, maybe how to dig deep and work with others to have more spiritual abundance, okay, again with the Buckeye, and whatever it is that you want to manifest or someone else did, okay, in this past energy. But I also see, okay, if we keep staying where that dotted line was where I put the pen, right, if we just pretend that it keeps going outwards, is that your spiritual team was definitely back here all the way in the past as well, with the angel coin right on the line here, Taurus. So this is one of my symbols for passed on loved ones, friends, family, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course guardian angels. So they were definitely showing up in your past spiritual unconscious intuitive section, okay? Now, with that also being said, this is also right on the line here, Taurus, is the dog ankle bone. Okay, so this talks about some type of flexibility in the past was perhaps needed, or was showing up in some way, like spiritual flexibility, unconscious flexibility, intuitive flexibility, okay, with that kind of private side, or maybe even as public, right? It depends on how open you are with others about what you believe or someone else believes, okay? But I like the flexibility there. I like that dog bone there, because then we see that we have this huge green lucky rabbit's foot. It started a little bit in the past and then is continuing on really more here in the present, current, future possibilities, probabilities, being right on the line between body and mental health, we'll get into later. But really, we're talking still about this section, the spiritual unconscious. So all of this good luck coming in here for you, Taurus, and it's really beautiful. And I just wanted to lift up and make sure that there was nothing really underneath it. I mean, we do have, like, very close to it, right on the line as well, this yin yang symbol, okay? So this could be talking about all this, like, spiritual unconscious intuitive good luck, also bringing some type of balance in these areas as well here, Taurus, which is really cool. And then when we also see, I'm going to move my pen now so I can point to things, with the coffin charm showing up here right on the scissors, like your spiritual team, because this is another symbol for me, just like the angel coin all the way out here, is pass on loved ones, friends, family, ancestors, spirit guides, guardian angels, etc. Your spiritual team wanting or assisting with helping cut something away spiritually, intuitively, unconsciously, cutting and clearing and cleansing something. Okay, so maybe to continue, if you do that, or when you do that, or the energy shifts this way, or someone else does here, Taurus, then we continue on, okay, with this good luck coming in and this sense of balance. Okay, so that's really cool. Now, before we continue to go that way, I want to see what else is here as well, and also on the line going that way, because it also applies to this section as well. But the first thing, that caught my eye earlier too, but I didn't want to mention it before until we got here, is that we have the skull showing up here, Taurus. So I have two skulls in my kit. So where they show up can tell us where someone's mind is at, where it will be at, where it was, etc. Right? So someone's mind is definitely heavily on the spirituality, the unconscious, and the intuition. Your other one is all the way out here in body and mental health in the past. We'll get into that later, but I just kind of wanted to show you real quickly where that other skull was. So with the skull being really close to my listening seashell, right? If this was a big seashell and we put it up to our ear, we could potentially hear the ocean. So it's about listening, okay? And all the seashells also represent feminine energy. So remember over here we had more of this masculine energy, and now we also have some feminine energy coming in as well. So it could be someone who's really listening for spiritual downloads, for messages, for their intuition to guide them, right? And when we go from the listening seashell, it's really cool. Out here, Taurus, we also have the listening bells, like all the way out in the past. So here it's more in the future, current, present energies, and out here it's a past energy, okay? And then when we have this ship charm showing up here right on the line, again, if you imagine those dotted lines continuing outwards, okay, this could have, you know, been something here in the past, Taurus, where it's like listening to our dreams, listening to what we may receive if we're doing any type of astral travel or just lucid dreaming, okay? It could also be listening to water or being by water, since water is a conduit for spirit activity, right? It can also help us and is very healing with our spirituality, our unconscious or intuitive side, okay? So I kind of just see that out there. I mean, it could, in addition to that, be talking about something as far as 3D travel in the physical world. But usually when we're still talking about the spiritual side, it represents more of the first thing that I said. But it could be the other as well, or, you know, what have you. Again, it's a general reading, okay? Now here, Taurus, we have the alligator claw right on the line as well. So this also, just like the green lucky rabbit's foot, represents good luck and abundance, right? People carry them in mojo bags for money and just overall abundance, okay? But it is still a claw, so it's reaching and striving for something, okay? And because then it is then also touching the fish charm over here, reaching and striving for some type of spiritual, unconscious, intuitive success and prosperity, okay? Very beautiful. And then as we go this way, we've got Cupid here. We've got my symbol for Capricorn. We have Pegasus, the winged horse. We also have the ladybug inside of the horseshoe. So another third good luck charm here as well. Remember, so 1, 2, 3. But also, in addition to that, Taurus, what I'm seeing here is there could be something either with a Capricorn or during Capricorn season, or where you may have Capricorn in your chart or someone else does, or it has nothing to do with Capricorn zodiac energy, and it's more about like, where do we put in the effort, or being resilient and being flexible, going back to that dog ankle bone over here, because the goat is flexible as it goes up the mountain and travels excuse me, difficult paths. So this is like, you know, our loved ones are showing up here with Cupid, and Cupid's arrow is literally on top of the horseshoe and the ladybug. So Cupid is my symbol for romantic love, platonic love with friends and family, self-love, all the different types of love. But also Cupid is pointing towards Pegasus, the winged horse. So not only good luck, but also freedom, right? So spiritual, unconscious, intuitive freedom and success and effort and support from loved ones. So I really, really like that. That's awesome, right? Who wouldn't want that? Okay, Taurus. And then here, as we go this way to continue to see what else is on the line that also applies this way, right, is we have the broom that is then touching the bobcat tooth, leading into the lizard charm, and then we have the balance scales, Libra energy, and then the masculine charm. So here, this is about having again now something where we're clearing and cleansing and sweeping away the old to make room for the new in terms of our spirituality, unconscious, or intuition. But it also could be clearing and cleansing our spiritual boundaries, our intuitive boundaries, our unconscious boundaries, because this is the bobcat's tooth. And when we talk about cats, they're really good with boundaries, right? So someone could be chewing over and digesting how to do this or how to respect other people's boundaries, if it's that as well, or in addition to that, Taurus. But there's all this beautiful healing energy around it with the lizard. So there's rebirth, regrowth, right? So as we know with some lizards, when you cut off the tail, it grows back, right? So there's this beautiful healing rebirth kind of energy coming in with these boundaries, okay, and sweeping away something here, cleansing something. And then it also leads into the balance scales Libra energy. So it could be something about equal give and take, or reciprocity, right? It could have something to do with the Libra, or someone has Libra in their chart, or where you have Libra in your chart, or even during Libra season, or has nothing to do with that. It could also just be, if we put the zodiac stuff aside, something to do with spiritual justice, right? Intuitive justice, unconscious justice, or just equal give and take in a sense of balance. And then when we pair that with that masculine energy, with the masculine charm, it's going to be talking about being proactive, assertive, aggressive with this is going to be really helpful for you, or helpful for someone else, or for the general energy here, Taurus. But I definitely really like that. All right. So now let's go back up this way a little bit and see what else we have now in the center, since we talked about all the things in the past and on the lines, right? But here we see now we have feminine energy really beautifully. It's like a lot of balanced energy. Remember, we had masculine out here, feminine, feminine, and then we have some more masculine, and now we have feminine. So I feel it's very balanced, since we all have masculine and feminine inside of us, regardless of how we identify our gender and all those things. But this soft receiving as a stereotype, right? Feminine energy, higher vibrational feminine energy would be soft and receiving and open. But there's something here possibly about our spiritual, unconscious, intuitive dreams or goals, like where we pull back that arrow and hit the target here, Taurus. And here it's pointing towards all this beautiful abundance and good luck with the green lucky rabbit's foot. Now, this is my symbol for Sagittarius, so this could have something to do with the Sagittarius during Sagittarius season, where you may have Sagittarius in your chart, but it doesn't have to be. It can just be really, again, about those goals and targets that we may have spiritually, okay, and unconsciously, intuitively. Now, there's a need to go slow with whatever this is, Taurus, because we do have the little turtle here, and then we have our third now clearing and cleansing agent, right? So we started with the scissors, clearing and cleansing. We have the broom, clearing and cleansing, and now we have the feather, clearing and cleansing, right? So the need to go slow as we continue this clearing and cleansing spiritually, unconsciously, intuitively, okay? And what I also really like to see going this way, and it's almost right on the line, but it's also in the center, is now we have the fork here, Taurus. So this could be talking about what are we spiritually digesting? What are we intuitively digesting, right? It's just a little reminder. It's a good thing for all of us from time to time to think about these things, okay? And with it being really close to now this coyote penis bone that's going that way into the center circle, this would again be more masculine energy, all right? But coyotes are also a pack animal, so it could be something about teamwork here, working with your guides, working with your spiritual team, right? Your angels, your ancestors, past on loved ones, friends, family, what have you. Okay, maybe that's the kind of team working energy. Like they're going to help you ask those questions. What am I spiritually digesting, intuitively, unconsciously? Okay. All right. So I want to, pull out just for a second and look at everything here, because remember how I said whatever falls in the center circle, right, affects all the different areas. So we saw that we have that coyote penis bone, okay? Then we also have the sun charm, which is then touching the skeleton hand, which is touching my symbol for Saturn. So being proactive, assertive, aggressive with following our happiness. This is what our spiritual team, again, just like the coffin and the angel coin, may want us to do. But Saturn is really supporting this underneath. And as for some of you guys who follow astrology or saw my other astrology notes video or what have you, Saturn is going retrograde, okay? I think July 13th or 15th or around there or something. So we have 4 planets total throughout July that are going retrograde. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing, just means it can be about revising something, renewing something, releasing something, just going over something again. But when we talk about Saturn in particular going retrograde, Saturn normally is, and it still is in a different kind of aspect, about responsibilities, limitations, getting things done, paying our bills, being organized, right? But when it's again in that retrograde motion, or it appears that way to us on Earth, it's like this can be about like new progress in terms of our long-term goals towards happiness, like being proactive with this. It could also be what's another way to talk about it? Maybe redoing our foundations again towards reaching for this happiness generally in all these different areas in in our life, or their life, or the collective's life, whatever you come to this reading for here, Taurus. But I really like it when we talk about it in terms of the spiritual unconscious too. So what does our spiritual team want to help us reach in terms of and towards spiritual happiness, intuitive happiness, unconscious happiness? Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's now move on to another section here. So since we were, already kind of talking about some of the things on the line this way, I'm just again putting the pen roughly where it is if we continue that dotted line. All right. So now we're going to move here, Taurus, into the body and mental health section. And this is also like where I said your other skull was, all the way out here in this past energy. So I want to talk about these things and then move up here. Okay. But all the way out here in the past, we do see someone's spiritual team showing up around someone's body and mental health. Okay. We can also see here, Taurus, that perhaps not only was someone's mind thinking a lot about these things, about someone's overall health, there could have been a lot of emotions about digging deep in terms of someone's health here, okay, with that coyote claw and then the water charm, okay? So sometimes it gets emotional, right, for us or for others when we're talking about our health. Okay, so that's all right, right? And there's definitely like some type of flexibility that maybe started here in the past. It could have been here, Taurus, around your children if you have children, or someone else's children, or just like a childlike energy here in the past, okay? But this flexibility along with this childlike energy, whatever it may be, these things possibly were catalysts for whatever we're going to find over here in the future, current, present energies, possibilities. So if we stop there for a second and pull out and look, like, we could say that your relationship and love section, Taurus, and your work and money sections are way busier than your spirituality or your body and mental health, right? But again, there's some stuff that goes through the center circle that applies to all these areas, okay? But generally when a section, and this one is probably your barest section, right? With the least bones and charms, that means generally like to continue to do whatever you're doing or someone else is doing, or the general environment situation, because it could just be that spirit wants you to focus more on those other areas, okay? So I want to try to hold the camera here so you can see it, like kind of where that little figure on the mat is meditating, and you can look at the word body and mental for a little bit while I talk. But Again, if we go back here with the baby and that flexibility with the dog ankle bone and all this emotions in the past, and maybe having a team working energy around someone's body and mental health, or childlike energy and being flexible, maybe perhaps led to all of this abundance, okay, with the green lucky rabbit's foot here. Because again, whatever is on the line, it applied to spiritual unconscious, it also applies this way to body and mental health. So, all this wonderful good luck here, Taurus. We see also the yin yang symbol here, the balance scales, right, showing up. We also have, again, going this way, the scissors and then the coffin charm on top of that. So, your spiritual team may want you to clear and cut something away in terms of your body and mental health or someone else's, okay? But what I really like as we go this way here to Taurus is the key charm is all the way out here. Okay, so there may be some answers that come in this month, Taurus, or not just this month for July, right? Since my readings are timeless, it could also be before July or after July, right? Time is fluid and relative, and so it really just depends on each person. But getting some answers regarding someone's health, okay, and then what I really love to see here too is now over this way, we have that witch charm, and it's really close to the safety pin. So the witch charm for me is a symbol for friends, family, friendly type of energy. If it's not necessarily like friends, it could be one friend or multiple friends, just a friendly energy wanting to help bring in these answers for the body and mental health, and also just confirming that it's something is safe here, like it's safe to get these answers or to receive them or to process them, right? And there could also be something that's a long time coming here, Taurus, with the seashell charm right on the word mental. So if there was some issues with mental health here, or not even necessarily issues, right? It's weird that I said it like that. It's more like if there's some things that someone needed to work on or we needed to work on, that we're going to get those answers or those resources or whatever it is, okay? Because again, whatever's going on in this section, it's pretty bare and it looks like a lot of good stuff. So it's mainly like Spirit wants you to focus on these other areas. But we also have this fork here on the line, and so that also applies to body and mental health. So this time, instead of saying, what are we spiritually digesting, when it was going that way earlier, now it's saying, what are we physically digesting, right? What are we eating? What's our diet? Okay, but also the mental health. What are we mentally digesting? Is it healthy for us? Is it healthy for someone else or the general environment situation? Okay, so just something to think about. Now, as we go this way here, Taurus, we do have the fish vertebrae backbone over here, along with the corn right on the charm, right on the line. This charm and this bone is right on the line. Okay, so here it's like, where's the support for planting something of substance when it comes to the body and mental health overall? So when we're talking about support, it could be on one side, Taurus, about doctors, the health professionals. On the other side, or in addition to that, it could also be about like our friends, our family, or romantic partner. Like, are they supporting us or supporting someone else, or the general environment situation with the body and the mental health? It could also be talking about nutrition here for some people with the corn, but it doesn't have to just be a body thing, right? It could also be a metaphor. So are we planting seeds, something of substance that's going to take root, that's going to keep coming back to help us overall with our overall health, okay? Now, as we go this way here, Taurus, we also have right on the line here, not Pegasus. I always do that with my with my P words. I'm like, this is Pisces, not Pegasus. It's Pisces, the twin fish. So for some people, this could have something to do with the Pisces or during Pisces season, or where you may have Pisces in your chart, but it doesn't have to be. It can just also be, if we put those zodiac frequencies aside, something about going with the flow here, right? We got all this water energy, and Taurus, your earth sign, or depending on where you have Taurus, right? So it's like going with the flow. So these fish are not going against the tide, they're going with the tide. So this is saying something here for someone, if it's about a person or general energy here, Taurus, about going with the flow and being proactive with this in terms of someone's body and mental health. And this is really cool. The way that this second raccoon penis bone is coming in here and then crossing the line, the way it's coming over the body, it almost looks like, you know, almost like, it makes me think of like a backpack or like a shoulder bag or something, because it's going over both of the shoulders, right? So this for me here, Taurus, is really like saying, okay, how can we again work with the community and our individuality when it comes to our body and mental health. We see that also on the other side of this raccoon penis bone with the first honeybee in the reading. So honeybees represent individual power and community power, okay, since they serve the queen bee. So it's like something about it, I mean, it's just like taking it with us, right, Taurus? Like with that shoulder bag or the backpack or whatever, it's like taking with us this going with the flow energy, you know, working with the support system, that the doctors, the trainers, the health professionals, also our support system, being our friends, family, romantic partner, etc., whatever it is. But also something about a beautiful, peaceful energy as we go this way and cross over, since they're all touching and on the line. So right over here, Taurus, we do have the peace doves. So bringing this peaceful energy with us is going to be really important for our overall body and mental health here, or for someone else's. There could also be something going on at this time, Taurus, with, you know, being like really creative and open and courageous around going over the knowledge that we may find hidden in our memories. Okay, so here we have Leo the lion, we've got the book charm, and then we have the elephant charm. So elephants never forget. The book can be knowledge or research or going over information. Of course, Leo energy, fire energy, could be have something to do with a Leo or during Leo season, or where you may have Leo in your chart, but it doesn't have to be. It can just really be about that passion and that creativity and that courage to go over any difficult memories that may have something to do with our body and mental health or someone else's, okay? But when you do this, Taurus, or when someone else does, or the energy shifts this way, I feel that it is, and this is very interesting, I have to flip over one of the charms here. This is going to help us with any challenges, okay? So this one is the mountain charm, which represents challenges, okay? But I do like that the ship anchor was inside of the mountain charm with those challenges. And then of course we have the hummingbird here. I'll try to move them over ever so gently. Oh no. Okay, hold on. They're so small. Okay. Anyway, just put this back. So yes, when we do this, Taurus, or someone else's, or the energy shifts this way, okay, let me back up. The mountain charm is challenges, right? The ship anchor is having freedom and safety with, like, going towards the mountains, not running from the challenges, right? That's what's going to be like really important. Again, going back to Leo the lion and that courage energy, okay? So having the courage to go towards these challenging energies in terms of someone's health here, because there is freedom and safety, and also like something that you're naturally good at here, Taurus, with the hummingbird, or someone else is naturally good at, or the energy, right? Because The hummingbird also represents like doing something non-traditional, or what we're naturally good at, our innate talents and gifts. So the hummingbird flies backwards, but it does indeed get the sweetest nectar, and it's the fastest bird, right? So going towards these challenges and knowing that it's safe, and having the freedom to be yourself through these challenges, to stay with the passion, the creativity, and the courage. All right. Um, excuse me. All right, Taurus. So that is what I see as far as that. Now, the last thing here for the section before we move on is, again, how do we use this proactive, assertive, aggressive energy that our spiritual team and Saturn in retrograde wants to help us get more serious around our long-term goals towards happiness, also now in terms of body and mental health. We talked about it with spirituality and conscious and intuition, but now it's also saying same thing for body and mental health. Okay? Very, very cool. All right. So now let's go ahead and move on to our next section here, since we're kind of already here, is going to be relationships and love, Taurus. All right. And so we'll see there's only one thing all the way out here in the past we'll talk about, and then come back into the center here and look at it in that way, and some things we haven't talked about yet. But this is all types of relationships, Taurus. It can be romantic, it can be platonic, it can be self-love, all of the things, right? So we see all the way out here in the past. And what is the past? It could be a couple of days ago, weeks, months, years, etc. But this is, Taurus, the snake vertebrae backbone, okay? And so backbones, vertebrae, like the saying, I got your back, right? You lean against a chair, they got your back. It represents our support system, and it's going to be different for everybody what their support system is or was, since it's in the past. But it feels like, because it's the snake bone too, that snakes shed their skin, they represent evolution and change. So maybe our support system here in the past, Taurus, started to change a little bit, okay? So whether that's all the different types of love that we were just saying, so romantic, platonic, or self-love, something started to maybe change a little bit here in the past, and that could just be maybe why we're going to see certain things up here in the future, current, present energies. All right, but what I like to see too, very interesting right here all by itself, Taurus, is that seashell charm. So that does represent feminine energy, right? So being open and ready to receive higher vibrational feminine energy. Okay, if we're talking about that, that's just kind of like there, all right? That could be something to do with the collective unconscious as well. We do have Venus is direct, right, at this time, even though we have all those other retrogrades. I think Venus is still in Gemini, at the beginning of the month, and I don't think Venus enters Cancer towards the very end of the month. But anyway, that's a side note. So check out the astrology notes for more stuff there, or check, on the internet. Do whatever you do if you're into the more detailed astrology stuff. But, we can see that, like, if this support system was changing in the past out here, now over here, we have that fish vertebrae backbone piece right on the line. We talked about it before in the other section, but since it's on the line, it also applies this way. So it's there, and it's right next to the corn charm, okay? So this is like planting seeds, something of substance, like having like deeper relationships, or having something like more substantial within our support system in our relationships. Looks like it's very important, the energy showing up in that way. And this is also the fish vertebrae backbone. So fishes, right, water energy can be important here, Taurus. Again, if you're a sun sign Taurus, or got a lot of Taurus in your chart, that's that earth energy. So water energy is just a different energy, right? And maybe something that isn't going to be important like throughout this reading in this section as well, okay? Because remember, we also had or have Pisces energy here with the twin fish, right? So fish and fish, right? So needing to go with the flow here with something as well is going to be really important. So these fish go with the tide, they don't fight against it, right? So being proactive, assertive, aggressive here with something, Taurus, in terms of one relationship or all of your relationships or what have you. But also a sense of community and individual effort may be important here with this honeybee as well over here, okay? Since all the honeybees work together in a union, right? And they serve the queen bee, but then individually their effort to make the honey is felt as well. So it's like something about, working with others and their effort, but also your effort or someone else's, right? Okay. Now, also more energy. So this is the other piece of that fish vertebrae bone that broke off a couple of months ago. All right. So it represents the same thing, right? Water energy and our support system being really focused on something here. Okay. Whenever you see this reading. Now, way up here, like right on the word relationship, okay, we do have that envelope charm here, Taurus. So it could be that you are giving a message or receiving a message, okay, about one relationship or all of your relationships, okay? But I feel that, again, feminine energy is being open and ready to receive, whether you give that message or you receive it. Now, this message could have something to do with family, but it doesn't have to be. All the way here with the seahorse right under the word love. So cute. And so different family means different things for different types of people. It could be our blood family, our relatives, our parents, our children, right? Or it could be whoever we consider our family, our trusted group, a tribe of people, okay? Whatever it is, okay? It could be that message is related to that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. But family, that sense of family is really important, showing up that way as well. Okay. Now, if we continue to go back over some of these things that were also touching that raccoon penis bone and on the line, and then quite a few of these things now also pass through this heart that's drawn on the mat for this section. So I consider this like the heart chakra here, Taurus, okay? So there's that beautiful, peaceful energy we talked about with the peace doves. There's Leo the lion. There's the book charm. There's the elephant, right? So in this way, now when we're talking about relationships here, Taurus, it could be like having the passion and creativity and courage to go over some memories that may give us some new information or new research, or even if it's not new, maybe it's more detailed information and something to do with someone's heart chakra here, okay, in either the romantic love, platonic love, and of course self-love being the most important and where we start, right? So yeah, I like that. And I also like that what we said before here with the mountain charm. Okay, I know it's hard to see, but they're all kind of together. Try to move it over a little bit. We have the mountain charm, and then we have the ship anchor here, and then the hummingbird, right? So having the courage to go towards any relationship challenges is going to be important to remember, have the knowledge, the receipts, even it could be like, I remember this, right? Or I remember that, whoever it is, right? Vice versa, etc. It's just an example, doesn't have to be something like that, but it could be like we have that freedom and that sense of safety as well with the challenges. Because here with that hummingbird, remember, Taurus, doing something non-traditional or doing something that we're naturally good at in terms of where we drop our ship anchor when we need to stop and feel safe, and where do we lift it when we need to go and have a sense of freedom. That's also important when we have relationship challenges in particular, right? But the other thing I would say that we haven't talked about yet is if we go on this side of the line, okay, these things also apply that way, is over here we have the raccoon claw, we have the bat charm that's leading into the lightning bolt, which is touching the bicycle on one side, the other side it's touching the frog, right? And then we have the freedom handcuffs. So here, Taurus, this is talking about digging deep, manifesting something about um, the bat is like our subtle communications within our relationships. So how do we speak to one another, right? How do we communicate not just with what we see but with our vibrations? That's going to be really important at this time, for you or for someone else with a general energy. And that, you know, thinking about those things or doing those things can also bring in a lot of new ideas in terms of what types of relationships we want or someone else wants. This could also have something to do with travel, having the freedom to travel, right? Or something to do with our modes of transportation here, our bike, our car, our scooter, what have you. But it could also just be, if it's not about 3D physical travel, it could just be like all this movement and change and the bicycle wheels like spinning fast, right? And so that's on one side. And on the other side, there's a beautiful frog here talking about some type of leap of faith, that maybe these new ideas and these subtle vibrations and this sense of freedom can help you here with making some type of leap of faith, or someone else, or just the general energy here, Taurus. But that's really beautiful, okay? And last thing for relationships and love, right, is again the center circle. So being proactive, assertive, aggressive, like your spiritual team, with wanting to help you find happiness in your relationships, with Saturn in retrograde also helping you focus, or someone else, on your long-term goals in your relationships, and any new progress that you have with those long-term goals is going to be important too. Okay. Now, as we move to your last section here, Taurus, kind of maybe your busiest section, so to speak. Here we got work and money, right? So we got to talk about the stuff in the past here first on the sides, and then we move inwards, okay? Okay, so going up this way, Taurus, what I can see is we got the turkey wishbone, okay? And it is then touching, all right, the spider web, the spider in the spider web, right? And then that is also touching the star over here that's leaning on top of the chair charm, okay? So in terms of someone's, in terms of you or someone's work or money or finances or a sense of being valued here in the past, Taurus, this could have been like, I want something for my work and money environment, right, with the spider and the spider web, to help me or someone else towards my North Star. This could have in the past also had something to do with our home, where we live in the 3D physical world. And or addition to that, it could also be like this big wish for the work and money and finances and our values environment. Where do we feel at home to follow our North Star with the work, or at work with the money, the finances, a sense of being valued. So we see that in the past here, okay? Now also in the past, going this way, Taurus, we got our listening bells all the way out here. That's right on the line if we continue to follow that dotted line. And then we also had the ship charm here. So here, this could be that in the past, some energy or some person was really listening for maybe opportunities to travel, okay, with the work, the money, the finances. It could also be here, Taurus, that this was, talking about like being by water, how important and healing that could be for someone with their work, their money, their finances, or their sense of being valued too. But it really feels like it could be more about travel or opportunities, listening for opportunities to travel or something. Okay, and it doesn't also have to just be 3D physical travel. It could be like, I want to travel metaphorically with my work, or in the work, or the money or finances. I want to go up. I want to level up. Okay, I heard that as well. So that is showing up too. Okay. We can also see all the way out here in the past, Taurus, there was all of this good luck, okay, aspect with the four-leaf clover here. We also have the mermaid charm. Now this way we've got the cup charm and the money bags, okay? So a lot of emotions around abundance, okay, in the past. So abundance can be physical money, finances, right? But it can also be whatever it is that we want in terms of our work as well, not just money, but our career or what have you. It could be lots of different things for different people since it is a general reading. But this, like, good luck and these emotions being really strong here in the past. This could even go back to past lives, but it doesn't have to with the mermaid, or also could just be like somebody was longing for this good luck for such a long time and they were very emotional about it, or you were, or the energy was here, Taurus, going all the way back into the past. The other thing all the way out here, remember, that was also on the line in terms of past energy that also applies this way, is if the support system, okay, with the work, the money, the finances, was changing in the past, whether that was coworkers, a boss, or our actual support system in terms of our romantic partner, our friends, or family, right? If that was starting to change in the past, that if we go now this way too, with that other thing that's in the past that we haven't talked about yet, is now with this other coyote penis bone going half into the past and now into the future. Current present energies on the black mat, it's like being proactive, assertive, aggressive with that masculine, higher vibrational masculine energy to go over the details, the paperwork, okay, with the work, the money, the finances, or a sense of being valued, right? If we're also retired, because it's not just about work or money, it's our sense of value too, right? So I always kind of throw that in there as well. But going over these details, or something with the fine tooth comb, as they say, that phrase, right? Or the paperwork, or all the little details. There's a protection in that, actually, Taurus. It's going to be a good thing, okay, here with that Norse symbol of protection. So I definitely like that, right? So it's like safe to go over the details or something. I don't know why it wouldn't be safe, but again, it's a general reading, okay? But yeah, it's also like there's a wish here for something about our dreams around the work, the money, the finances, our sense of being valued, being a big piece of the puzzle. It's like maybe someone again is wishing for this sense of protection with the work and the money, right? Protection could even be like work stability, having a job and having, knowing that you're going to continue to have a job, or having the financial or money situation be stable or be protected, right? That's a big piece of the puzzle. Okay, we can see that literally with the puzzle piece, so that makes sense. Because if we now go this way, Taurus, it could be that there's a little bit of energy here still in the current present energies possibilities, where we have a little bit of stagnant energy here with the lock, or slowed down energy, okay? And if that is showing up here, it could be because there's a huge transformation happening with the butterfly, with the work, the money, the finances, or a sense of being valued. And if there's some doubts or there's some questions about this change or this transformation, that could be why, it slows down a little bit, or there's a little bit of that stagnant energy there as well. Because when I see the question mark really close to the cat's eye here, Taurus, it makes sense, right? So if you're familiar with tarot, the cat's eye is like the moon card, and it really just means that we don't have all the information yet on something, okay? We only have a little bit of light. So we get up, we're sleeping over someone's house, our new friend, and we don't know, or family friend that we have never slept over their house. We don't know where the bathroom is, so we're kind of like fumbling around in the dark. we don't have the light. If we turn on the light, we'd have information on where the bathroom is. So it's a little bit of stumbling around here in the dark about this kind of transformation, and maybe having some doubts here or a little bit of stagnant energy. But I feel like whatever this is, Taurus, that there is, your support system on the other side of that. Okay, now here with the whale backbone vertebrate piece here. So how can we also, make ourselves feel like a whale, make ourselves feel large, or make our support system feel large, and being able to shift through whatever this transformation is. Because remember, if we go back this way, the wish, or one of the other wishes, was to have the work and money and finances environment feel like home, and being open to following someone's North Star or their career, or something about maybe even their wish for something about a new home or where they live, or something even with that chair. Okay. Because the other thing here, Taurus, is now if we go this way and talk about these things as it applies that way, is you have not only good luck in the past, but in the future, current, present energies. Look at that alligator claw. Remember, it's right on the line. It's reaching and striving for that wish, striving for the Norse symbol for protection. It's also striving for success with the fish and prosperity, right? And then it's also striving for something about our loved ones and having this resilient energy. Okay. Capricorn energy could have something to do excuse me, with a Capricorn, or during Capricorn season, or where we may have Capricorn in our chart, but it doesn't have to be. It's just like being resilient, going up the difficult path, being flexible with the work, the money, the finances too. Okay, because there's a good luck again here, all right, with that horseshoe and the ladybug inside of it. Okay, and Cupid's arrow is literally on top of it. Okay, and then also Cupid is pointing to Pegasus, the winged horse. So having good luck and a sense of freedom with the work and money and the finances as well. But boundaries are still going to be really important here, Taurus. We know that there needs to be a clearing and cleansing with someone's boundaries or your boundaries, right? So maybe not like bringing home work with the family stuff or whatever it could be. Again, it's a general reading, but chewing over and digesting these boundaries and how to clear and set them or renew them, or accept them or release them, whatever it is, if it's you or someone else's boundaries. But there's a lot of beautiful healing energy around that, so I really like that. Okay, and remember that these boundaries are there for a reason, because it's something about equal give and take. Now we have Libra energy, so again, could have something to do with a Libra during Libra season, or where you may have Libra in your chart, and being proactive, assertive, aggressive with this, right? It could be justice with the work, the money, the finances as well. Okay, it could have something to do with a court case or the laws or legal system, but it doesn't have to be. It's just about what this represents, that equal give and take and sense of balance. Okay, and what I really love, look at this. Remember I said, I don't even remember, oh yeah, all the way out here in the past, remember I said listening for ways to level up, not only travel with the work and the money, but remember I said intuitively, because I wasn't even aware what was over here yet, is that I said something about leveling up with the work and the money, like traveling, like this little boat was like saying it wanted to go up the stream. Look at this, Taurus. I didn't even see this. Look at where the apple and the crown charm fell on the mat. They're both on the money symbol. Okay, so both of these things by themselves can represent our leadership qualities. Okay, because the apple represents a teacher, a mentor, a guide, and or our own leadership qualities to get that money, to get that abundance, to get that work. What does the crown represent? It represents working with a higher up person that even has either more confidence and or more knowledge with the work, the money, the finances. But in addition to that, it also is our own leadership qualities. So there's something big here, Taurus, for some of you guys, to being able to level up okay, with the work, the money, the finances, or your general sense of being valued. So I really, really like that. These, I don't think they've ever fallen like that in a reading before, so that's really cool. Okay. I'm like, damn, where do I have Taurus in my chart? I gotta look. But the last thing I'll say here before we shift into the Gemini reading is that the last thing that is in the center circle, you know, also applies this way. And these things I forgot to talk about too with work and money. But it's like being proactive, assertive, aggressive with our happiness in terms of our work and money and finances. Remember, Saturn energy or Saturn in retrograde is also like what are our long term goals and our new progress with the work, the money, the finances. Because also, what's going to be important is this part too. It's like, okay, so what are the subtle communications, vibrations with our coworkers or when we're at work or with the work, the money, the finances, because there can be some new ideas that want to come in here. Remember with the lightning bolt, and these new ideas could have something to do with travel or new ideas about something with modes of transportation, whether it's a bicycle, a scooter, a car, etc. Or again, just travel or having the freedom to travel or having the freedom to, you know, get a new mode of transportation even, or just showing a lot of movement in general there, right, with the bicycle wheels kind of moving really fast. Okay, so new ideas coming in about the work and the money and the finances. And this also could lead to Taurus, something about a leap of faith here, okay, whether it's you or someone else or the general energy in the collective with that frog there, right? So having a leap of faith is not knowing what the outcome is going to be, right? But we do it anyway. We leap anyway, okay, and just hope that we land okay. So really, really interesting reading here, Taurus. I hope some of that is making sense or will make sense for you. But yeah, I'm going to put the camera down for a moment and make sure that I take a picture and kind of switch over to Gemini in a moment here. But thank you guys so much as always for your likes, your views, your follows, your shares, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok. Okay. But yeah, enjoy this time period, Taurus. What a beautiful reading. Okay. All right. So we'll leave that there. You got your picture. So now we're going to kind of switch over to Gemini, our last sign here for July. Finally, we made it to you, Gemini. Yes, yes. So thank you for your patience and understanding and all those things. I did have some family here over the 4th of July holiday and all of that. So I was trying to get all the readings done. But everything is divine timing, right? So it happens when it's supposed to happen. All right. But anyway, yes, we'll provide timestamps too later for people who just want Taurus or who just want Gemini. All right. But thank you guys. So we're going to put the bones and charms back in this bowl. We'll let them chill over on the side with some crystals. We'll do a little bit of incense again, a quick sound bell, and then see, yeah, what Spirit has for the Geminis. Wait, what's today? Today's the 8th. Didn't we have, oh yeah, Uranus just moved into Gemini yesterday. Yes. So we might see some of that showing up for Gemini in a particular extra way if someone has a lot of Gemini in their chart, or even if they're a sun sign Gemini, right? But yeah, let me put these over here for a second before I start talking about astrology and stuff, and just make sure we rotate the mat a little bit as well. So when I cast the bones and charms, I do have my eyes closed, but I like to kind of also not know or remember where the different sections are. All right, so let's put our crystals here with the bones and charms. I'm gonna take a little sip here since I've been talking a lot. Okay, and I'm going to put the camera back up. So when we do the shuffling of the bones and charms and the casting of the bones and charms, that you can see everything from a wider perspective first, and then we'll bring the camera back down again. All right, so let's come back over here and kind of get the best angle that I can, if and when the camera likes to cooperate sometimes. Please. I love you, camera. Yes, no, camera. Giving me difficultness today. Come on now. It doesn't want to stay. Hold on, guys. 1 second. I'm trying to show the mat, or majority of the mat. Okay. There we go. Sorry, guys. All right. So hello again. Okay. So for people just tuning in, right, this is going to be a general reading for air sign Gemini for July with the bones and charms. Everybody is welcome. Whether they are a sun sign Gemini, have your moon in Gemini, your arising or ascendant Gemini, you have your Venus in Gemini, whatever it may be, or your certain house associated with Gemini has some stuff going on for you, or maybe it's something to do with Uranus moving into Gemini, which happened yesterday. Whatever it may be, all are welcome, right? Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of incense here for you guys, right. For me, for the bones and charms, a general energy. So we're going to let go of the Taurus energy and welcome in the Gemini energy. Oops. And so smoke is a great way to clear and cleanse, but it's all about your intention. So it doesn't have to just be smoke, right? It can be the sound, or it can just be your intention. But I like to do a little bit of it when I can, and it smells good and it's pretty and all the things. Okay, so that's my little matchstick incense, so it won't be there for the whole reading, but it's there. All right. So now, guys, let's go ahead and do our sound bell to clear and cleanse. If you're sensitive to sound, you can turn it down a little bit, or even if you're listening with headphones or something like this. Excuse me. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and just kind of tune in and regroup. Also, for me to talk to my guides, so I make sure that I'm delivering the messages from Spirit to you guys as clearly as possible as well. All right. So this is going to be for air sign Gemini for July 2025. All right. That was good, but it was really loud. Sometimes I'm better at it than other times, but sometimes I need that wake up or something that, okay, get it together. All right, guys, so let me put this aside, and we're going to shake and shuffle the bones and charms here. That's what I have to do. Just on the beginning of the reading, it's not the whole thing. So that's going to be a little bit loud as well, but just bear with me, and thank you for your patience and understanding. Okay. So spirits, please guide my hands. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for air sign Gemini for the highest good. for July 2025. What does Gemini, Air sign Gemini need to know for their highest good? Spirits guide my hand. Messages for Air sign Gemini. Messages for Air sign Gemini for their highest good. Guide my hand. Spirit, please guide my hand. Messages for Air sign Gemini for their highest good for July. Spirit, please guide my hand. Messages for Air sign Gemini between for their highest good for July. For Gemini. Spirit, please guide my hand. Messages for Air sign Gemini for their highest good. Please guide my hand. Spirit, please guide my hand. Messages for Air sign Gemini for July for their highest good. Spirit, please guide my hand. Spirit, please guide my hand. Messages for Air sign Gemini for July for their highest good. Spirit, please guide my hand. Spirit, please guide my hands. All right, let me put this up over here. Stay. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see. So before we bring the camera down, we'll also find out where Spirit wants to start this reading, since it's different for every reading. So I'll do that in a second. But before that, I'm just flipping over any of the bones and charms that I can, bringing them in a little bit closer. It doesn't change their meaning. It just has it be easier for us to see in a few moments. If they're right on top of each other or too close together, I'll hold off until we get to that point in the reading. And I think my music stopped in the other room, but that's okay. All right, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave that one there too. Okay, I think that's pretty good. We'll figure out the rest as we go through the reading. All right, so let me see where Spirit wants to start. Spirits, please guide my hands. Where do you want to start this Gemini reading for July? Spirits, please guide my hands. All right, it's definitely in the middle here. Let me put my pen there. Nefertiti, you gonna come say hi? Meow, meow, meow. Are you gonna come say hi to everybody real quick? Come here. Oh, you're such a good girl. You say hi to Gemini. Okay, bye. All right, guys. Now, of course, I kissed her. Got a bunch of hair on me. That was not smart. You better appreciate it, girl. Okay. Anyway, guys, we're gonna start right here in the center circle, because that's where the energy was drawing me. So it's gonna really apply to all the different areas that I'll go over in a minute. But it's gonna be like applying to work and money, relationships and love, body and mental health, spiritual unconscious, your intuition. It's gonna apply to all those different areas. Okay. But then I think we are still going to kind of start in the work and money section, because that's what it's telling me. Okay. But anyway, let me bring down the camera now so you can actually see what I am looking at. Okay. So if you guys can see everything, let me just fix my chair here as I come closer. But yeah, a majority of your bones and charms are pretty spread out this month here, Gemini. But I would say majority of them, are probably over here in body and mental health, and then spiritual and unconscious are also known as your intuition. Okay. And then there's, of course, definitely still things going on in relationships and love and work and money. And again, things that are going to apply to all the different areas. But I would say that this one is probably the busiest at this time. So that's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It just means that maybe here Gemini spirit wants you or someone else, multiple people, general environment situation, to focus more on these areas as well. But with that being said, let's get into it and see. Okay, so I just kind of rested my pen here, which I didn't necessarily have to do because it's like a huge coin. But this is the yes coin, and that's where Spirit wanted to start your reading. Okay, so again, I'm just flipping over bones and charms as we go through so we can see them more clearly. I just flipped over the buckeye that we'll get into a little bit later. Okay, but wow, look at that, Gemini. Okay, that's your yes coin, and it passes through that center circle where all the lines in each section intersect. So there's some kind of big emotional yes here, Gemini. There's some stuff underneath it we'll check in a minute, but it does lead to all this good luck. Okay, so that's really cool when you think about it, that it applies to all these different sections. Okay, because I look at the yes coin as almost like a green light, right? If you're driving. So there could be some yes that either you give or you receive in these different areas. Okay, it's going to be different for everybody since it is a general reading too. But there's a lot of emotions around this yes with the cup right next to it. I want to see what else is underneath. Okay, so now we also have the skeleton hand and the star. So the skeleton hand is one of my symbols for passed on loved ones, friends, family, ancestor, spirit guides, what have you. And then the star represents following our North Star. So your spiritual team, because it's reaching for, that skeleton hand is reaching for the good luck, and they're also supporting following the North Star here. This just feels so beautiful here for you, Gemini. Okay, let's see what else we got. Wow, look at that. Okay, so quite a few things are under that green lucky rabbit's foot. This spiritual hand is reaching not only for that skeleton hand. I said spiritual hand, but it kind of is. The skeleton spiritual hand is reaching for not only with the green lucky rabbit's foot, good luck, but it's saying if there are some doubts here, Gemini, for you or for someone else around whatever this emotional yes is, it's saying that your support system is here, because then it leads into the whale, backbone, vertebrae piece. So your support system is here to help with any doubts or to help with any questions about what this yes may mean for you or someone else. Now, this also may have something to do with clearing and cleansing something here, so there can be some travel, okay, in the 3D physical world with the ship charm here. It could also be, doing some clearing and cleansing to be by water, and how that is beneficial to do those things as well. So as we know, in the winter the dead leaves fall, so then the new leaves can come in. So that's that clearing and cleansing agent in the leaf there. Okay, and this is really cool, because then on top of that ship charm here, Gemini, now we have the turkey wishbone that it's on its side. So wishing for travel or wishing to be by water or something here, again, is like very important or supportive for whatever this general clearing and cleansing is. And remember, we're saying this for all the things and all the sections in your reading. We haven't moved into one section yet, right? Because again, it passes through that center circle. But if we look over here, and I flip this over because I didn't do it before, is we have one of your first skulls here in this section. Now we're going to move into work and money and talk about it this way. But where we find a skull in a reading can tell us a lot about where someone's mind is at, where it was or where it will be. Okay, so look at your other busiest section, right? Remember I said this way, Gemini, your body and mental health or someone else's. That's where your other skull is. And then this one is in work and money. Remember I said we got to start in this section for some reason, even though we started with the center circle. I didn't even know that was a skull until I flipped it over. So that makes sense, right? So you or someone else's mind or the general energy could be focused a lot this month or whenever you see this reading on the work or money or finances or your sense of being valued if you're no longer working, or just how you feel valued in general. Okay, so I want to look over too here, Gemini, that you really only have one thing out here in the past in this section, right, that goes off with the black mat. So all the way out here in the past, Gemini, we have that first raccoon penis bone here. Yes, Nefertiti, that's right. And this represents higher vibrational masculine energy. So we all have masculine and feminine inside of us, regardless of how we identify or our gender, right? But it could be saying that in the past, maybe there was some type of proactive, assertive, aggressive energy around the work and money and finances or our sense of being valued. And that could be why that green lucky rabbit's foot is there, and a lot of other good things like we're going to talk about in a second. It doesn't just show up on its own, right? It's like Gemini's like, wait a minute, I put in that work, or someone saying I put in that work, the effort. I put in that effort with the work, the money, the finances, or the sense of being valued. Okay, so I definitely see that, and that makes sense, right? Now as we go this way, okay, what we see that's on the line on both sides also applies to this section. So all the way out here, okay, in the future, current, present energies on the black mat, right, we have now our second clearing and cleansing agent. We have the leaf. Not the leaf. We had the leaf over here, sorry. Now we have the feather, excuse me. So the feather is showing up here talking about, again, a clearing and cleansing kind of energy coming up with the work, the money, the finances. Okay, now as we look this way, we can see with this coyote claw coming towards also the Sagittarius bow and arrow and then the listening bells, that someone is manifesting, or the energy is manifesting, what are my work and money and finances goals? How can I listen for what are my targets, right? It could have something here, Gemini, to do with the Sagittarius, since the Sagittarius symbol, or where you may have Sagittarius in your chart, or someone else, or even during Sagittarius season, but it doesn't have to be. If you put all the zodiac stuff aside, it's just really about where do you pull back that arrow and hit those targets with the work, or at work, the money, the finances. So someone is really like manifesting how to get deep with that and dig deep with that coyote claw. It could also be talking about team working energy, since it is a coyote and they're a pack animal. So how to work with others so we can hear more clearly what these goals and targets are for ourselves, okay? Or even if it's a goal and target with a company or a client or what have you, to hear those things more clearly is always helpful, right? Or again, with all the different planets in retrograde throughout the month, to find like new progress with long-term goals, right? With Saturn going retrograde, with the work, the money, the finances, okay, sense of being valued. So if we also look at this again now in terms of work and money, there could be a big yes, a green light. Remember that either you give and or receive that makes someone emotional or makes the environment very emotional here with the cup on the side of that yes charm. Okay, now let's just move this stuff over. Oh, I knew that was gonna fall eventually. That's okay. It'll hopefully. There we go. I'm like, come on now, Gemini. Anyway, this emotional yes, right? What else did we have underneath it? Remember, we had that skeleton hand and then the star, right? So it's like whether we give or receive this yes, this emotional yes, it could have something to do with following our North Star in terms of our work or money or finances or our career, or how we feel valued, our spiritual team, our ancestors, spirit guides, guardian angels, past and loved ones, friends. They want to maybe help us with this, right? It could also be that if there's any doubts around this here with that question mark again, that the spiritual team is also like, what about your 3D physical support system here with that whale vertebrae backbone piece? So, what about the romantic partner? What about the friends and the family? Also, our support system when it comes to work or money in another way. It could be about our coworkers. It could be about our boss, right? If there's any doubts there, lean on the support system, whatever the support system may be, okay? Because we have the yes, we have all this good luck with the green lucky rabbit's foot, right? That was right there. And so there is also the clearing and cleansing agent this way with the leaf around the ship charm being like clearing and cleansing something so we have a green light and good luck to go on a trip or take the trip. Whether it's, for work or with the work, the money, the finances. Okay, maybe there's been a big wish there for a long time and been on someone's mind. Okay, but it could also be not just about like 3D physical travel. It could be saying that if we need to clear and cleanse something in these areas, that being by water is really important, since water is a conduit and is very healing and cleansing and clearing itself. Okay. All right. Let's put this roughly back where it was. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much what I see for that section, Gemini. But now let's go ahead and move into the spiritual unconscious section is where they're telling me to go next. All right. Also known as your intuition section here, Gemini. And you don't have a whole lot here in the past. You got a little bit over here with half of that Libra energy with the balance scales, half in the past, more in the future, current, present energies, or half and half, right? But when we're talking about our spirituality or our unconscious, our intuition, it's what we feel at night when we're alone, our gut reactions to things, our first reaction, all that kind of energy. Okay, so this could be saying something about something to do with the Libra or during Libra season, or where you have Libra in your chart. And or it could also be talking about spiritual justice, unconscious justice, intuitive justice, equal give and take. Okay, that just being really important, not only in the past but also still currently going on. Okay, and if we go now this way, Gemini, we have a coyote penis bone right here, very close to but not touching the money bags. So again, if we're talking about higher vibrational masculine energy, it's being proactive, assertive, aggressive with following the spiritual, unconscious, intuitive abundance, right? Money bags, if it was in that section, would be actually money, finances, and or general abundance. But especially in this section, it's like, what do we want to manifest with our spirituality, with our unconscious, with our intuition? So also working with others, since it's the coyote bone and they're pack animals, right? So working with our spiritual team, our guides, ancestors, people who passed on, all the things. But you could at this time, Gemini, whenever you see this reading, be receiving a lot of downloads, and there's going to be possibly, if not already, a need for more rest than normal with the baby facing down, okay? Because a lot of times we do receive spiritual, unconscious, intuitive messages when we're asleep and our logical mind is shut off and we're more accepting of the messages, right? Of course, it could also have something to do with 3D physical children, yours or someone else's, or just a childlike energy. But whatever it may be, it's about rest, okay, at this time with the baby facing down. Okay, so when you, or when someone else, Gemini, or the energy has this feminine energy now over here helping with some answers. How beautiful is that? So here we have the feminine charm was on top of the key charm. So being, as a stereotype, higher vibrational feminine energy, be able to being open and soft and ready to receive some type of spiritual, unconscious, intuitive answers, okay? And again, there's something here, Gemini, about your individual effort in these areas or someone else's, and the community's effort here with the bumblebee. Okay, so individually each honeybee makes the honey, but collectively in their union of honeybees, there's the collective energy too. So putting in the individual effort and working with the spiritual, unconscious, intuitive team, whatever that is for you. Okay, but now as we go this way, Gemini, with the crown right on the line here and then touching the bobcat tooth, it's like chewing over and digesting, setting boundaries with a higher up person that has more knowledge or more confidence than us. In addition to that, it could also be setting boundaries with our own leadership qualities, okay, is going to be important too. So I don't know if I'm going to get this to, yeah, no, okay, well, close enough, guys. It is like that. When I flipped it over, it doesn't want to go back. But anyway, yeah, it's like we have to set boundaries too with spirits, with our spirituality, with our unconscious, our intuition too. So if we're needing more rest because we're setting so many boundaries, rest isn't just about like sleeping, right? It could be you're sleeping more because you're getting more messages and answers, but it could be that then you need to be like, no, I've been sleeping too much. I need to be more active in my physical body, or whatever it may be, since it is a general reading and it's meant for multiple people. But whatever setting these boundaries is with yourself and others, because of the crown, it's safe to do that. So chewing over and digesting that, it's safe to do that here. Also with the safety pin right on the line and then leading into this human tooth bone. But I like this a lot as well, Gemini, because here there's something that needs to be cut away, okay, that's gonna give more of a sense of freedom, but maybe cutting away like something to do with what are we digesting spiritually? What are we digesting unconsciously with the fork here? What are we digesting? All of those things. Maybe it needs to be cut away or changed or altered in some way to bring in more freedom with the freedom handcuffs here. Now that also leads into, is this the envelope charm? What is this? Oh, yes, it is. Okay. So that leads into possibly some type of message. Again, this can be a spiritual message, an unconscious message, an intuitive message that either you give or you receive, right? This message could also, again, happen while you're dreaming, astral travel, it can be lucid dreaming, what have you, or it's just showing all the movement that's happening in this section, right, with the bicycle wheels going real fast. But this is a big piece of the puzzle here, and it could be that Saturn is helping influence this as well here, Gemini, with our Saturn charm then leading into the lightning bolt. So here, Gemini, it's like bringing in some type of spiritual, new, unconscious, intuitive ideas. Even though we know Saturn is going to be retrograde this month, it could still be like, what are our long term goals with having new spiritual unconscious ideas? Or what is the new progress with having any new ideas in these areas? There's a freedom and safety around this, whatever this wish is for these new ideas, because then we have the ship charm here and then the wish charm. So we drop our ship anchor when we need to stop and we lift it when we need to go. So freedom and safety around these things. And then coming back, going this way, it's being proactive with that, right? Higher vibrational masculine energy, again with the raccoon penis bone. So what are the spiritual unconscious intuitive dreams that maybe we've been wishing for a long time, or even go back to past lives with the seashell charm here? Like maybe this is even about happiness within a family. Okay, definitely happiness within a family here. Okay, because then we got the sun charm, and then we have the seahorse and the mermaid on the other side. So when we say family, it could be here, Gemini, our blood family, right? Parents, siblings, children, whatever. Okay, if they're blood children. It could also and or be our tribe, our group of people that we trust that aren't like blood relatives and all these things and blood family. It could be our group of trusted people. Where is the happiness with that, with the spiritual, unconscious, intuitive goals and dreams? And again, if this is past life energy or even something that we've been wishing for a long time, it's so cool that like this is the top of the raccoon penis bone too, that it looks like it wants to scoop up the happiness and the sun charm and the family seahorse charm. So really, really interesting, Gemini. Okay, and also too, if we apply the center circle to this section, if you receive or give an emotional yes from your spiritual team, remember the skeleton hand is under there, and the star, about following your North Star, listening to your intuition, your unconscious, your spiritual side, that there's all this good luck with that. There's also support with it. Remember, with the whale vertebrae backbone piece here, there's also good luck with clearing and cleansing our spiritual house, our intuitive unconscious house. Also being now, when we're talking about this section, clearing and cleansing if there's too much spiritual travel or unconscious intuitive travel, or being by water, and how clearing and cleansing that is, right? It's kind of like all of those things. So a big wish for that, and we see all of this supportive stuff. And remember too that if there's any doubts around this yes and all this good luck and all these wishes and things, to rely on our support system. And if it's here, our spiritual support system, it can also be the people that are still alive, right? Our our romantic partner, our friends and family, what have you, whatever it may be. Okay. All right, so now I think that's everything for that section. So let's go ahead and move into your body and mental health, your busiest next section here, Gemini. Okay, so here we're going to look over stuff from the past up here and on the sides, and then move inwards, of course, into the future, current, present energies, possibilities, probabilities. All right. So if we imagine that that dotted line is continuing outwards, right? It's just going to cover all these things going both way, both on both sides. Okay. So all the way out here in the past, in terms of someone's body and mental health, there could have been a little bit of some stagnant energy or some blockages here. And it could be that because of these blockages or slowed down energy, that makes sense here as well, with the turtle charm showing up. But it could also be, Gemini, that there's something here about being proactive or assertive or aggressive around some memories here in the past, since elephants never forget. And then we have that other coyote penis bone. Um, but I can also feel that, like, in the past, and whatever the past is for you or someone else or the general environment, right? That your spiritual team was here and is still here, with now the angel coin showing up over here. I'm just going to turn it right side up, can see it a little better. But what is under the angel coin so beautifully, Gemini, is the peace doves. Okay, so if they're showing up here in the past and in the future, there's also a peaceful energy in terms of someone's body and mental health. So your spiritual team is saying something here also about this beautiful feminine energy. If we were saying it's higher vibrational feminine energy, it's coming in along with this coffin, just like the angel coin. Your spiritual team is saying yes, being open to something here to bring in this peaceful energy, because there is a huge transformation happening here, Gemini, for you or for someone else. Okay, with the butterfly here for the body and mental health. But what is very beautiful along with that, it's hard to see on the mat here with these designs, is we got the lizard. So the lizard represents healing. So there's a big transformation happening. There's peaceful energy happening. There's healing happening. Okay, and we can see that this has been heavy or is going to be heavy on your mind or someone else's, or the general environment situation, because here we have that second skull showing up. And if we now go this way, Gemini, underneath the skull is Pisces energy, the twin fish. So this could have something to do with the Pisces, where you have Pisces in your chart or someone else does during Pisces season, or it has nothing to do with the zodiac energy, and it's more about going with the flow here in terms of someone's body and mental health. Okay, going with the tide and not against it, because over time, this is going to bring in a more balanced energy between the body and the mental health, because we got feminine energy over here on both sides with both of these seashells, and then we also have masculine energy in the middle. But before we come back to this section, I also want to see what's on this side in the past that may be impacting why we're seeing certain things here in the future, current, present energies. Okay, so we can see in the past there's some challenges perhaps with the mountain charm showing up here in terms of someone's health. There was challenges, but then there was also good luck, like right underneath it. Really interesting, with the horseshoe and the ladybug inside. There could have also been good luck around a teacher, a mentor, a guide, and or your own leadership qualities here, Gemini, around the health challenges. There could have been on one side that going on, and then the other side, there could have been something in the past in terms of having success with our home, like within our home, wherever we live, or someone else does with the chair charm here and the fish charm. It could also be like, our sense of feeling at home within our body and our mind. Maybe felt like there was more success with that in the past. Okay, but then we also have Pegasus, the winged horse, coming in from the past and then to the more future, current, present energies. A sense of freedom here too, which is really cool. Okay, so over time now, we go back where we were, right? This balancing between the masculine and feminine energies also can bring in a sense of freedom to help with the healing, to help with the transformations, because again, this is kind of like your busiest section at this time, Gemini. So very, very cool. So as we go back this way to see what else is on the line as we apply it now to this section, is if there's going to be some setting of boundaries with a higher up, okay, with let's say a doctor or a health professional, or our own leadership qualities here. It could be setting those boundaries is important for somebody's body and mental health, right? Whatever this is, it's like it's safe to do this here with a safety pin, Gemini. So if you or someone else is chewing over and digesting this for a while, like what am I digesting in terms of my physical body? Is there things I need to cut away here within my diet with the scissors? Also, what am I digesting in terms of my mental health? Are there some things that I think about or in my mental health area that I need to cut away or cleanse, right? That's also going to bring in a sense of freedom here for you, Gemini, or for someone else, or for that general energy. So we know that when you do this, or someone else does with the energy, there could also be some type of message that comes in or goes out from you, that could have something to do with travel. The message could also have something to do with exercise now, because when the bicycle is in this section, it can just be exercise. So that's a big piece of the puzzle, right? For our physical health and our mental health, it's always good to exercise, right? But to pause right here before we continue on that way, it's like this way we also have a symbol for Capricorn, right? My symbol for Capricorn. So this could have something to do with the Capricorn, during Capricorn season, where you may have Capricorn in your chart. But this is like talking about also putting all that zodiac stuff aside. Where do we put in our effort, and we're resilient and we don't give up in terms of our body and mental health? Okay, so that's kind of going on in the background as well. Because if we also go this way, Gemini, like being proactive with this feminine energy, it's both, remember I said masculine and feminine, like how can we work together as a team, and going over the details about something with the health is going to be important too. So this is a raccoon claw. Raccoons are also pack animals. They just have their immediate family, right? And just their youngsters and their partner, but it's still a family. It's still a team working energy. So working within a team to go over the details, the paperwork with the health professionals, or the support system for the health, whatever it may be, that's going to be important with the fine tooth comb, right? Because also with Saturn being in retrograde here, or just Saturn in general, right? They want us to get more serious or more organized, or where look at the long-term goals, for the body and mental health. And also, are there new ideas here? Right? Is it safe with the ship anchor to have new ideas? Right? Because there is again that wish for, now, embracing a long time sense of happiness and something to do with family for the goals, right? So whether that is, you know, blood family, or whatever we consider our tribe or group of people, whatever family is for us. But with the mermaid and the seashell charm, it's like could even be stuff going to past lives, or just wanting this for a long time. It doesn't have to go all the way back to past lives, okay? But that's definitely showing up here for you, Gemini. And so this is like there's support for this though. Remember, over here, if we go this way, like we have also that fish vertebrae bone here. So whether the support comes from, our doctor or health, professionals, and or if it's our support from a romantic partner, our friends and family, what have you. But also that support then leads to the hummingbird going this way here too. So doing something non-traditional with that support system, or being, open to doing things that we are naturally good at, that don't necessarily make sense to other people in terms of our body and mental health, is going to be like really important too. Okay, because there's a lot of emotions about the health, right? We can see right on the line here too, Gemini, with the water charm, lots of emotions. It can be good and bad, right? But with that being said here too, there's the alligator claw and these things, inside of it and on the other side, right? What is this? The four-leaf clover. There's good luck, right? There's good luck. And this, I'm pretty sure, is Cupid. I'm going to take it out and flip it over. So Cupid is my symbol, for all types of love, right? Whether it's romantic love, platonic love, self love, all of the above. But here, okay, Gemini, what I'm seeing is it's like all the love on one side and then the witch charm on the other. That's my symbol for a friendly type of energy. So one friend, a group of friends, or a friendly type of energy. But there's all this support to help with this big transformation that is going on for somebody's body and mental health. So that's really, really beautiful. And last thing I'll say about this section is, remember we have the yes, the green lucky rabbit's foot. We have the emotional yes that also applies to body and mental health. So if there is a yes that you give or receive, okay, your spiritual team is wanting to help you with this to continue to follow your North Star for your health as well, or someone else's. It's also like your spiritual team is showing up here saying, if there is doubts or questions around whatever this yes may be, okay, or if there's doubts around how am I having all this good luck right now, the spiritual support team is saying also rely on your 3D support team, whether it is romantic partner, friends and family, doctors, teachers, guides, health professionals, whatever it may be. Okay. So with all that good luck here too, Gemini, there's still also a need to clear and cleanse something now, because they're all touching each other and they're in the center circle. So they also apply this way. So it's like, clear and cleanse something perhaps around a wish for travel, or clear and cleanse something just being by water and how healing and supportive that is for that. So if there's a wish for travel and to have this good luck to keep flowing, it could be like travel needs to be put on hold a little bit because of the body and mental health. Or another way you could look at it is that the travel needs to happen for these things, okay, for the body and the mental health. Again, it is, a general reading, but really, really beautiful though. So whatever that is, I like it for you, Gemini. All right. Woo child. So now let's get into your very last section here. And so now we're moving into your relationships and love section, okay? So here we have just a few things out here in the past, and then we'll move back into the center and go over that as well, okay? So this is all types of relationships though, Gemini. So it's romantic, it's platonic, it's self-love, it's all the types of love, right? So all the way out here in the past, we've got a human tooth bone here. We have your North symbol for protection. We've got Leo the lion showing up here too. So, and a little tiny bit of the broom way out here, okay, the broom handle. So this could be telling me, Gemini, that someone in the past or an energy was chewing over and digesting. Do I feel protected in my relationships? Do I feel protected in one relationship or all of them? Okay. And is my support system like helping with this protection or not? Okay. Because also right on top of that North symbol for protection is the snake vertebrae backbone piece. So also over here with Leo the lion, Gemini, is where in the past was the passion and the creativity, the fiery energy, right? Or the courage to do something. It could also have something to do with the Leo, or during Leo season, or where you have Leo in your chart or someone else does. But it's really like, yeah, if we need to clear and cleanse something that started in the past and is still going on in the future, current, present energies, possibilities with the broom here, is it about our support system, and is it about whether they are helping with that protective energy or not? Okay, because when we talk about the snake vertebrae, snakes represent evolution and change. Okay, so if our support system was changing within our relationships, did that add to a sense of protection or the opposite? Right, it's gonna be different for everybody. But what I like to see here too, to kind of pause for a moment here, Gemini, is that this is kind of your bearish section. So usually when that happens, I would say whatever it is that you are doing or someone else is doing or the general energy is doing, I would say continue to do it, because Spirit wants you to focus more on these other areas. So just keep that in mind, because we also, or I also know, or maybe you know too, again, depending on how much you're into astrology, that, excuse me, Venus is going direct, okay? It's still going direct during the month of July. So Venus rules partnerships, commitments, marriages, work partnerships, whatever, okay? All the different types of partnerships and commitments. Not necessarily marriages, but you get the thing. So it's like maybe with the general astrology, it's more supportive in this area than it has been for a while, even for the collective unconscious. But I would say that with this broom being all the way out here, and then your spider and your spider web this way, it's just like saying maybe there's needs to be a little bit of clearing and cleansing within the whole relationship environment. Again, whether it's romantic, with friends or family, or even self-love, right? It's just all the types of love, just clearing and cleansing there. All right. And when we see that energy here too, Gemini, we have this dog ankle bone like right on the word relationships and love. So this could be talking about adding a sense of flexibility here. Okay, again, whether it's in one relationship or all relationships here, Gemini. But what I also really like is this sense of balance right on the heart here. We've got the yin and yang. So just balanced heart chakra energy is really going to be important, okay? Because if we go this way, we've got a human tooth bone here, and then we have the buckeye. So the buckeye represents, just like green lucky rabbit's foot, luck, lots of abundance and good luck. So if we're thinking about all this abundance and good luck in the relationships, and we want it to continue, and we want this balance energy to continue, it's just like we gotta remain flexible in certain ways and just clearing and cleansing our relationship environment. Okay, because remember, if we also go this way, Gemini, right on the line that also applies this way, is we have good luck again over here with the four-leaf clover. We have the alligator claw, which represents abundance and good luck as well. Reaching and striving for love. And look, you have it, Gemini. I mean, I don't even know when the last time I've ever seen this before in a reading, but Cupid is literally in your hands. It's in the alligator's fingers and hands, okay? You have the love. And then you also have the friends on the other side. Damn, Gemini, you got everything, okay? So you have romantic love, you have platonic love with friends or family, or maybe it's self-love, or it's all of the above. And then the friendship energy, so beautiful. So there could be a lot of positive emotions here too. It's just like emotions with the water charm. And then the last thing here too, everything in the center circle applies to all the areas. So double emotions within the relationships and love as well, okay, with the cup over here. So again, could be receiving or giving some type of emotional yes, some type of green light, okay? And remember, this is about following our North Star also in our relationships. So your spiritual team wants you to do this or someone else to do this, Gemini. And if there's any doubts about that with the question mark, rely on your support system. Okay, not only your spiritual support system, so ancestors, past and loved ones, friends, family, and angels, spirit guides, etc. It also could be, right, your 3D support system. So your friends, your family, your romantic partner, what have you. Okay, because with this emotional yes and all this good luck, there could still be a little bit clearing and cleansing that needs to happen about something to do with travel or something to do with being by water, and how conducive and supportive that is for the clearing and cleansing. There could be a big wish for that, and the wish is for the good luck, and the wish is for the yes. So just really beautiful reading, Gemini. I don't know what else to say, but damn. Okay, you got it. Really nice reading. All right. So hopefully some of that will start to make sense, or already does, or will later. But yeah, I'm going to put the camera down for a moment while I take a picture before I forget. So I do usually try to put these pictures up on Facebook on my business Malessea Magic Light page, in case you want to look at the picture again later. But no pressure, okay. But yeah, let me just also put the camera up here so I can kind of like tune out and say, you know, goodbye to you for a little bit here, guys. And Nefertiti can say bye too, since she's been talking a little bit here and there throughout the reading. Nefertiti, are you a Gemini? I don't know. She's adopted, y'all. I mean, adopted. Yes, she's a rescue. So she's adopted and a rescue. I don't know her exact birthday. But anyway, guys, Gemini and Taurus, please enjoy this time period. And if you haven't already, feel free to like and share and subscribe, because I am doing these readings for free and I don't know how much longer I can keep doing it with my work and life in general. But if you like or subscribe or share, it does let me know that you appreciate these readings, that you like these readings and all those things. And so it's just like a transfer of kind of energy and all that stuff, if you feel guided, of course. But anyway, you guys take care, and hopefully I'll see you again in the future for the August readings. But yeah, take care, and I'll see you guys